Time for another Soccer Down Here 1v1. And for this one, we head to the Twin Cities and catch up with one of the new members of the NPSL. Minnesota Blizzard FC is joining, and they are joining in short order. Beginning play in 2024, the man in charge, owner Chad Hendricks. Chad, thanks for hanging out for a 1v1.
Yeah, thanks, John, for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, so let's go back to the beginning. How much thought and toil and trouble and racking of the brain went into this to make this a reality in the NPSL? How far back a process are we talking here?
Well, let's see. I'm 52, so 51 years. No, I've always had a desire to have a club of my own. I've loved the game my whole life. I really started managing teams. I was a high school soccer coach for a long time, and started managing men's league teams, amateur teams, 30 years ago, 25 years ago, and just been slowly building on that in a couple of the local Minnesota leagues, the MRSL and the MASL, and have been growing that footprint. With better and better players, with a lot of college age players and getting a good footprint in that regard. And then, about a year ago, I really started to think about how do I take this to another level. Um, and, was looking at two leagues in particular, an indoor league in the winter, the Major Arena Soccer League, as well as then a summer league, which with the NPSL, there's other leagues out there, but every time I talked to people or looked into things, the NPSL kept going to the top, so that was the league to be in.
I was going to ask, I mean, you mentioned these other conversations and going into leagues, either indoor or outdoor. What were those things that stuck out to you about the NPSL that it kept coming to the top of the line and kept coming to the top of the page? What were those things that attracted you the most?
Just talking to people in those leagues, actually, they just had great things to say. I mean, that was really having those frame of references from people who actually have done it and are doing it. Had some great conversations with like the Milwaukee Torrent, and some of the league membership folks and stuff, and just talking a lot of good things about the league. And not necessarily there were a lot of bad things about the other leagues, but just these were just seemed better, a more well-run organization. The NPSL seems to have a great infrastructure for their teams and for the league, so that was really influential for me too. And just some of the people I work with locally at the my uh, I'm in the Lakeville area, the Lakeville Soccer Club. The Some of the college coaches around here I know, they also had good things to say about the league too. So it was just a well run, strong league performance. I see that it's getting players drafted in the MLS and things. So it's just a strong organization.
You mentioned your timeline and your growth there. For someone who's not familiar with soccer in the Twin Cities, can you break down how it is a part of the fabric up there? I know a lot of folks know that, state of hockey, everyone gravitates toward that. Everybody will watch the high school hockey championships and they'll see the tremendous flow that comes out from underneath the helmets. But soccer is an integral part of this too. For those that don't know, can you break down what soccer means to Minnesota?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. I probably don't have all the answers, but I think that you're right. Hockey is the predominant sport. I mean, we have so many amazing hockey players go to the NHL from Minnesota or high college, Division I colleges. We have multiple Division I colleges, but soccer is growing and growing. I think we have so many soccer clubs in the metro area here in the Twin Cities. The Twin Cities is almost 4 million people when you count all the suburbs, and I think there's a huge market for this. It's just soccer is taking off. The women's game as well. We just launched a women's team here last year, a professional team, the Aurora. I've got the MLS team here with they sell out every game. Some amateur clubs and semi-professional clubs as well. So I think there's a strong fabric as well as in the college ranks. There's a lot of good Division III soccer in this market. St. Olaf just won the national title for the Division III soccer championship. So I think that's a South Metro college. It's about 20 minutes south of where I am. So there's a lot of strong soccer in this area, and I'm excited about being a part of it.
Since the announcement came to the fore and was officially made official by the NPSL, has your phone blown up? What's been the response?
Yeah, a lot of people just running into some people, some phone calls, some emails, some text messages. We're literally last week, just getting it all announced and out there and out in social media. So starting to get hit up by players asking about the team. How do I join this team? When are tryouts? People just I was at my son's soccer game the other day, and he's a U17 player, and a couple people walked up and said, "Hey, what's the deal with this Minnesota Blizzard thing?" So I think the word is getting out. I had a random phone call from Alan Merrick, the former Minnesota Strikers coach at the major indoor soccer league, I think back in the 80s. He was just kind of curious about, hey, what's this about? He was a professional indoor coach for a long time. And it was just kind of, again, a lot of people asking questions and, just trying to get things going here, taking off with the new team.
Without divulging names or anything like that, what's been the most random phone call or text that you've gotten from someone who wants into what you're doing? That did someone call from, oh, I don't know, like, New Zealand or something like that? What's the most random, unexpected notification that you got?
Yeah, I mean that's it. I've gotten a few questions, so I posted the coaching position, and I actually have a coach. I haven't announced it yet, so I can't divulge that
Oh,
yet. But
come on.
and breaking news.
Yeah.
Um, but I had some coaches from out of the country and out of the state, and I was just like, "Are you going to move here or what? Are you sure about Minnesota? In the winter months, it's not the best. I have to be honest." But I had a few of those. I've had some people ask me, "Hey, Chad, are you going to play in this league?" And I was like, "Are you crazy? I'm 52. These are good players. I'm past my prime." So that's been the weirdest thing. People think I'm planning to play in this league, and I'm like, no, no, no. I'm an owner. I'm going to let the people who know what they're doing run the team, and let the people who are good players play the game for the Blizzard.
You mentioned that since you're not going to break the news, I'll see if I can get around the question and get to philosophy. But now that you have a man in mind on the touchline for the upcoming season,
Yeah.
let's talk philosophy. When it comes to what kind of philosophy you are looking for the club to have, both on the field and in the community, what are you looking for when it comes to representation?
Yeah, I think it goes back to my own personality as a player for many years. I've always been one to make sure, the players are, even the ones I'm playing with, are having a good time out there. I'm always a bit of a jokester on the field and things, and trying to make sure we're having a good time. But just sport, I always go back to it's sportsmanship. Even when I coached, I always tried to coach the right way, making sure we're not getting bad decisions or a bad reputation. So I'm an attacking kind of a player, and a attacking kind of style of soccer, scoring goals. People like that. No one likes a nil-nil game. I think it's of course you're playing some possession. You have to maintain the ball and stuff. So is it on the tactical side? I'll let the coach figure that out. But I love an aggressive attacking style of soccer. Some direct play with also some possession as well. So. I mean, that's my philosophy. And just like I said, sort of partnering. The team has to work together. They have to be a good team, and for the community too. We want to partner with the community. So um, I keep saying the word partner with other people too, and just trying to figure out how do we do that in this market. There's no other NPSL team in the South Metro of the Twin Cities area, and so we can have a niche there in that market and really partner with the community. Like I said, many soccer clubs in the area, many businesses in the area, some large companies as well. So we're looking to really just branch out and get that Blizzard name out there, which is sometimes synonymous with Minnesota Blizzard. So I think it'll fit. People will get a good kick out of that. But I'm excited.
When it comes to the conference that you're getting into, I mean, it's some tall timber that you're diving into because it's Twin Stars, Med City, LCRS, Joy St. Louis, Sioux Falls, Dakota Fusion, and our friend Shuey, and with what he's
Yeah.
doing there at Duluth FC. When you look at this conference that you're getting into and just diving into the deep end, what do you see when it comes to the competition in the NPSL in general?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've done a little research on it, and the Minneapolis Twin Stars are a strong team with a great program. And Duluth, they just qualified for the U.S. Open Cup. I mean, they've got a strong group, couple players I think I saw got signed at higher levels, so that's good. They're leaving. And we'll have a better chance. But yeah, I'm expecting some bumps in the road. I'm expecting a learning curve. Like an expansion team, you're building a team and you're building a culture. It's going to take a little time. I don't expect us to win the league or anything in year one, but we're going to compete and work hard. And yeah, there's some strong teams. I'm sure the other conferences that have strong teams that I'm not as familiar with, but I am aware of these teams in the market. And like I said earlier, there's some good soccer in Minnesota, so we want to just tap into that.
And at the same time, I mean, you're getting into this, and immediately, if not sooner, you're hopping into the 24 season. What I like to ask
Yeah.
new ownership, new individuals into any kind of a league. Traditionally, we have to-do lists. And the to-do list can be in many forms. It can be in the calendar that we have, the old desk calendars that we used to have, before we had to put computers on desks, the real big ones. Could be the little one that's off to the side. I'm dealing with four separate calendars. Could be the calendar that's magnetized to the fridge. You've got the note board that you're getting a glass of water at 3 a.m. and you write an idea down at 3 a.m. and you're like, okay, I can't forget this. And then you look at it the next morning and goes, what was I thinking with that? Or the big 6 by 8 foot white dry erase board that has lines and everything everywhere all over the place. Where is your to-do list? And what is the next thing other than head coach? What's the next thing that you can cross off of this as you get ready for the 24 season, which really is around the corner?
Yeah, it's coming up fast. But to answer your question, I think it's all of the above. I have a dry erase board. I have a calendar that I live by on the computer on Outlook. I have notepads all over my desk here with ideas and different subject areas. Right? It's the sponsorship ideas. It's the marketing ideas. It's the team ideas. And yeah, I'm starting to try to check some things off that list. We've got tryouts or team formations scheduled for early March. We've got some dome time for that. We've got a coach. We've got some sponsors we're talking to as well. So I'm trying to, do what I can to make sure I, delegate this stuff, right? I don't want to be the only person in the front office, right? I have a marketing person, I have a social media person, now I have a coach, building that team around me because I can't do it all, and I know that. So it's really just getting those people who are smart in their areas, right? Someone who's really knows what marketing and sponsorship is all about, getting them doing their thing. The coach can do their thing with the team and such. And social media, I'm a novice, so I'm not doing all that myself. But just trying to build that, trying to build all that infrastructure. Which again, I know that, like I said, it's a quick turnaround, right? We're going to be kicking off a match in 3 months, basically. So, trying to just get everything, our ducks in a row, and get it rolling for that kickoff. And I'm excited, but I'll also just have lots on my to-do list, trying to chip it off one by one and not take too many bites at once.
No doubt about it. Owner Chad Hendricks of Minnesota Blizzard FC, one of the new entries in the NPSL for the 2024 season. They're going to be playing at Lakeville North High School, Lakeville, Minnesota. 2,000 facility, turf playing surface, and really looking forward to seeing how things continue to grow there as well. What have you learned about yourself as an owner and a builder in this process? What have you learned? You're like, man, I didn't know that about myself, or this was reinforced about myself in piecing this together. And it's two franchises, the indoor and the outdoor. But what have you learned about yourself as an owner and trying to get something off the ground from scratch?
I think it's just having that awareness that I'm not an expert in everything. I mean, I think it's just having that sort of self-awareness that I have a lot of ideas, but they're not always the best ideas. And just again tapping into others to get that knowledge and sort of something I have a small business I operate as well, and just trying to make sure my whole team is engaged and getting all the brains in the game, if you will, right? So it's not just my ideas. There's other better ideas out there, and just being okay with that, and just trying to understand that, in my other business, I do know a lot. I've been in the industry for a long time, so I feel very good there, and I love the game of soccer, but I certainly don't know all the ins and outs of it, of running it. So I'm getting again good people involved and trying to make sure they can support me and it's not all on me, and just trying to, yeah, I'm okay with that. I think that's just that's a I think good for anything is making sure you've got good people around you, and just self-awareness that don't try to take this all on yourself.
How deep is your speed dial? Like when you have a question, how many folks can you sit there and like hit a, *4 and somebody comes up? How deep is your speed dial when it comes to having these questions?
Do they still do that? The Star Four? I haven't
Look,
done that in a
I
long
look, I'm dating myself with that reference, but I mean, just in the
time.
in the general sense, it's like,
Yeah,
how many? That's the best way I could figure it out. It's like Star Four. Okay, it's like
right.
The Seinfeld episode. Oh, she's my number three. Now
Yes,
you drop to number eight.
yes,
So
yeah.
how deep is your speed dial, by the way?
Yeah, no, that's a great reference, by the way. I love that show. I do know exactly the episode you're talking about. It's a pretty big. I've had the same phone number for like 25 years, so I think it's really helped me. I've been in touch, like I said, with I bet 20 plus college coaches in the area, just kind of making them aware of the team. Getting their feedback. A lot of great feedback. They're excited about the new opportunity in the club. I've got a lot of people, like I said, been coaching or playing soccer for 30 years, so I've really got a lot of names in my directory, and so a lot of emails have gone out, some text messages, a few phone calls. So yeah, there's again relying on a lot of others and getting their knowledge in assistance in ideas and hey, what do you think of this or what do you think of that? Or they're reaching out to me asking me about to learn more. So I think it's just going to grow and expand as we go down this path. Like I said, I'm prepared for some bumps in the road. It's year one, and that's going to happen. So that's the other thing. I think to go back to your other question is just to be prepared and be able to call an audible, to use a football quote. But I mean, just being okay with that. It's not always going to go according to plan.
Have you all, I mean, we all kind of characterize ourselves differently when it comes to our makeup and how we do things in communities. Have you thought it? Do you characterize yourself as a builder, as a grower, as someone who wants to share the experience with everyone else? Do you want to bring folks under the tent? How would you characterize yourself when it comes to soccer and your businesses and franchises? This is obviously a legacy project. I know that you want to have this going 50 years from now and being conquering the entire state in the upper Northwest. But have you thought of yourself as a builder? How would you characterize yourself when it comes to each of these endeavors in your career?
Yeah, I definitely think a builder or a strategizer, if you will, right? Again, like I said, I don't have all the answers, all the details, whether it's with my other businesses or this one. But I try to bring in good people to try to build that partnership and build it with the community. I think it's all, with anything, it's about relationships, right? And so it's going to be relationships with my team, relationships with the players, relationships with the community. I think that's just going to be what's going to take us to the next level and continue to grow the culture and the franchise and everything as we go. That's really the way I look at it is just and with my businesses too. It's all about relationships. Whether it's someone your client or whether it's someone you're working on behalf of your client, you need to have a good relationship with them to make sure it works. You may not always see eye to eye, but at least you understand where each party stands, and I can work with that. So that's kind of the way my philosophy on that.
All right. So for folks that want to know anything and everything that is going on about Minnesota Blizzard FC, how do they do it?
Yeah, I mean we've got the website going and keep enhancing and adding more content to it. Again, we just got formally announced with both leagues last week, so we're just adding more and more to it. But that's at mnblizzardfc.com. I've had some people ask me what FC stands for, so you can tell they're not soccer people, but that helps to make sure they understand that. We've got a Facebook page going with the same name, really. Twitter or X, MN underscore Blizzard underscore FC, Instagram as well. So we're even is it Sky Blue, something new that the
Oh,
Twitter folks launched as
yeah,
well?
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. Yeah, sorry. Again, I'm a novice on some of the social media stuff, but yeah, so that's launched as well. So I mean, and then we have an email box too, just info at mnblizzardfc.com, where we're getting lots of emails about players asking about the team and when the tryout is and things like that. So we're really just trying to hit every aspect possible to get the word out. And I'm expecting that to just kind of again grow and grow as we just launched many of those things recently.
Minnesota Blizzard FC now online in the NPSL. They're going to drop anchor here in 2024, and owner Chad Hendricks spent time with us here for a Soccer Down Here 1v1. We'll be keeping an eye on what's going on up there. Looking forward to seeing how things are going to be in conference with one of the tougher conferences out there this season. Congratulations on the launch. It'll be here before you know it, but thanks for hanging out for a 1v1.
Thanks, John. I appreciate the time. It was great chatting with you. I'm looking forward to the season.